Hey, what's up? Scott Balkum here from Imagination Creation Film, and today we're continuing our discussion on light modifiers for the front of your camera. We've talked about polarizers, we've talked about ND filters, and today we're going to talk about matte boxes. Hey, so if you've ever heard the term matte box and wondered what the heck that is, it's not a guy named Matt. It's actually one of these guys right here. And to put it quite simply, if you've ever been in your car facing the sun and it's too bright, you flip down your visor. That's a matte box for your camera. Really what it does more than anything is you protect the lens elements from lens flares. And lens flares come from any type of a light that can hit and refract against the elements on the lens. Now, sometimes lens flares are exactly what you're looking for. It gives that kind of mystic, airy, kind of nice, reminiscent feel. That's really good artistically, but sometimes you don't want that. And if you have any kind of a light pointing at your camera, you're probably going to be dealing with it. And if you want a nice clean image, you're going to have to do something to block it. So let's dive right in and take a look at a couple of the matte boxes that I have here and show you all the different parts. This one right here is a typical Chinese that you buy online that you really have no idea what it is, and then you get it and you go, oh my God, it weighs a ton, because it does. It's actually very versatile and it will do everything that you need it to do. It's just not efficient because, well, it's heavy. And you're gonna hang something on the front of your camera, you're gonna hang something off of rails. You don't need more weight up there. You wanna minimize that as much as possible. This one's made out of steel. I don't feel like that's aluminum. So just basically looking at it here, you've got the two side flags and you got a top flag, which is also called a French flag. And these are just extra levels of control to help a little bit more. Inside here, you've got a frame. The frame is used to just protect additional bouncing inside. In the back here, these are rubber donuts. And again, this is a cheap Chinese online. These rubber donuts actually weigh considerable and they don't actually fit. And really all they're designed to do is your lens goes in here and you really want it to be as tight or as close as possible so that you don't get any light leaks. So up here on the front, this is your visor. You fold this down. As long as you don't block access to the lens, you can bring this down as much as is required to block that sun. So if the sun is just over here and coming down, you can block it from hitting that lens element, but you can still see your subject through the lens. The side are just to help block if I got lights coming in from the side or the sun happens to be coming in from the side. You can fine tune it with this. Again, this is super cheap. It's made out of plastic here, metal here. I have done so many modifications to this over the years to try to make it work when I didn't have a proper matte box. It's really garbage. These are the filter trays. The filter trays are incredibly heavy. And you know what? We're just gonna take this one and just put it down there because quite honestly, you don't want to buy one. Don't buy one. Now, let's just take a moment and talk about some real matte boxes that real people use out there in the field that actually can do something positive for you. So these are bright tangerine here. The Misfit Atom is actually a very lightweight, typically it's a clamp-on type. This is kind of a rubber mat on the outside, and then it mounts on with a clamp right here. And you could actually stack two filters in here. It's kind of a strange mount for the ND filters, but it does work and it does hold them securely. A lot of people use these, especially me, on gimbals, movies, et cetera, et cetera. They're super lightweight. This one does have the ability at the bottom, you can attach to a 15mm lightweight rod system, and I think maybe a couple of other configurations. But the easiest configuration to use is the clamp-on. And really it just uses these rings. These go onto the threaded front of your lens, and they come in different sizes. This one is a 72mm, this one is an 82, this one's a 67, and I have a 77 somewhere. And the reason you do that, you screw it onto the front, it's on there, it's mounted, and then you can just take your matte box, go right up to it, tighten it up, you're good to go. It's solid. It's super fast to switch out. Now this is the 15 millimeter lightweight swing away arm for the Viv. And basically you slide it onto your rails here, and then this would actually push it down and you can swing it out. It just clamps right onto the side right here, and it would work. I don't use it in this configuration most of the time because this is just a little bit of extra weight. This is actually aluminum, which is a lot lighter weight, but it's really unnecessary weight if I'm not going to be swinging it away a lot. Here's the red, and here's the Viv on here. Here is your top flag, and this one is adjustable. This one is mostly carbon fiber and aluminum, so it's got some very lightweight design built to it, and that's what I was saying before, super important for your rig. The way I've got it done right now, you can see on the bottom here, is I've got a 15 millimeter lightweight rod support system on here, and it's just bolted to the bottom of the actual mat box itself. So it's actually mounted in two places. I do that because I like that extra level of stability. You don't want your lens moving. You want it all to be kind of locked in as best as you can. It is a 15 millimeter lightweight rod system, so it's not designed to keep it ultra stable, but I'm cheap, so that's what I got to do. So it's mounted on the front here, and then I also have a clamp on here, to which I'm using the 77 is on this lens right here. And then I have a 77 to, what is it, I think it's a 150 adapter inside here, and then I clamp on right here. So this is solid on here. It is also very lightweight, relatively. Cool thing about the Bright Tangerines is you can actually expand it. So this one is a 2-stage, and you can buy another stage and bolt it right on, and you can get 3 stages. Now, what's a stage? Well, that's a stage. That's a stage. So any filter that you put in there is a stage. And the way that they work is you put the filter inside here, which I already have one right here. Filter's in there, you can see it, and it's locked in, and it's locked in from the top here. And the way you put this in, you slide it down, and you usually, they'll almost always tell you, make sure if it falls out, it can fall out towards the lens, not out the front. Technically, it can't fall out the front either, but I guess safety. So put it in, you screw it down, and it's going nowhere. Now it's locked in there. Now, if you recall, on the graduated ND, this is a square, and this is a rectangle. So this is the 4 by 565, this is the 565 by 565. Now, if you're putting the graduated in there, and I said you can move it up and down, well, you just drop it in here, and you can actually move it up and down however you need, and then lock it in to wherever you need it to be. And that works. The other thing that the backstage is rotatable. If you recall on the polarizer video, I talked about you need to rotate that polarizer in order to truly affect the polarization technique. Well, you put your polarizer in here, you drop it into this backstage right here, and then you can rotate it. And it will rotate all the way around. So you can get your polarization effect that you need. So another option you can have here, this is the Bright Tangerine Black Hole. It's kind of a, yeah, that. But it's designed to just suck up around your lens and just keep the light leaks down to a minimum. Now, the big question that everybody asks is, do I need a matte box? Depends. Where a matte box comes in handy is if you have multiple filters in here and you're swapping out lenses, the matte box stays put, the lens comes out, you drop in a new lens, matte box is already here, so it's a lot of time saved right there. Can you block the sun with other means? Yeah, almost every stills lens will come with a lens hood. And guess what the lens hood is? It's a matte box specifically designed for that lens. Now, not everybody's using stills lenses. Some people are using cinema lenses. If you're using cinema lenses, it's not going to come with a lens hood. You're going to need a matte box if you want to control that flare. These matte boxes range in price. I mean, you can find this Chinese one online. I think they're about 150 bucks. I'm telling you, you're throwing your money away. This Bright Tangerine Misfit Atom, which, I mean, it looks fairly cheap, and, you know, quite honestly, it's built nice, but it's cheap. It's inexpensive. It's 500 bucks, and sometimes they run it on sale even lower. So that's pretty affordable, and it's 2-stage. Now, One thing to note on the Misfit Atom is you cannot rotate the actual filter stage, you rotate the whole matte box. As for the Viv, it's several times the price of the Misfit Atom, but it is infinitely more expandable. It's built like a tank. You can modify all the different mounting points to it. You can add additional filter stages on there if you need it. You can do a lot of things in this configuration that you can't do in this one. But this one is, again, is a lightweight. It's designed for gimbals and drones, and this one is designed for set work. So all in all, if you're going to be working professionally or if you're going to be doing this full time, you're going to be running into the need to use a matte box at some point. You might as well start to get familiar with them now, and when the time comes, you'll be ready to make that purchase and start using it. As always, if you have any questions, do feel free to leave them down below. I try to respond to every question that's down there or comment, even if it's just to say, good job. I usually say thank you because honestly, thank you. Go ahead and click that subscribe button down there for me because I'd really like to have you in my audience because I have a lot I want to share and I really want to build this community up to what you want to know. You can click that alert bell right next to the subscribe button and it'll let you know every time I upload a video because you really do want to know, right? And give me a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. Don't forget to tell your friends about my channel because I really do want to help anybody be a better filmmaker. It's what I love to do and I love to give back. So this is Scott Balkum from Imagination Creation Films. And just remember, don't let your life lead your passions. Let your passions lead your life.